we've seen evidence of managing unplanned events, COVID, supply chain shortages. We saw increases in product demand, which was great. We saw decreases because of COVID in labor, which in supply chain shortages was stressful for a lot of organizations. So scalability is definitely on the top of a lot of folks' minds. And we did a little research, and GME had said it was predicting what the horticulture market would look like, and it had predicted that the global horticulture market is estimated to be 20.7 billion in 2021, and is projected to reach 40 billion by 2026. So
I hope that's true. That comes true, right?
Oh my gosh, that's so exciting.
I mean, that's doubling globally. So that's a really good sign for the industry.
And I think if we look at the US, Business Wire had said greenhouses in the US in 2022 was estimated to grow nearly 8.4 million and is expected to grow more than 11 million by 2027. So that looks great. That's a great indicator for US that we are expecting growth in the industry. And so how can you as a business scale? How a business can you grow without having to ultimately add a ton of headcount?
Yep.
We talk a little bit about how technology can help there.
Yeah, it really, COVID is such the perfect example of scalability. If y'all remember, all of a sudden everybody had to work at home, right? And so, I know so many people in the industry and or companies in the industry that were dealing with, the on-premise servers. When I was at the nursery, we had our closet, with all the servers in there, but having to really get everybody to work remotely, and especially if you have a system that, software has to be installed like on each computer in that, which was our situation. It was really difficult to, everybody to really react to COVID, firstly, to be able to work remote. And then all of a sudden you get just a huge influx of orders that nobody was expecting. So, how do you deal with that? With a cloud-based system where you don't have the server, on premise, right? And somebody having to take care of that and update that and everything. With the cloud-based system, you're always up to date on the latest version. I'm sure many of you have dealt with, being 8 versions behind in whatever software you're using, and then trying to save money because it's a frugal industry. The margins aren't super high. It's a grind, but really, if you do the research and add up what you're paying and having to buy new servers and get someone to take care of it, there's a lot of risk there. So with a cloud-based system, you can ramp users and resources up and down. So users, obviously, it's self-explanatory. If you all of a sudden have a lot more users during the season, you can add those users. When the season's over, take them away. When you have an on-premise system, you have to buy users, basically. So if you needed 100 users during the system, you got to buy 100 users, and there's no break in the slow and busy seasons. Resources, what I mean by resources is like RAM, processing power, like how powerful your server is. In the season, maybe you got so much more EDI coming in, or just the use of the system. You can actually get more resources, add more RAM, faster processor during the season, and then back that down afterwards. There's so many positive things about the cloud. It's browser based. There's nothing that is installed locally on the computer. So if you have a computer with a browser, you can work. So God forbid something like COVID happens again, everybody just goes home and continues on.
That's right. That's right.
Another thing that I can plug is the Microsoft ecosystem. We're a Microsoft shop, like I said. Think about Office 365, Business Central, which our software resides on, is completely integrated with Office 365. Everybody already uses that. So how much more powerful and how many more things can your users do when that's integrated with the system, and you can use Excel in that, but get whatever you're doing Excel either pasted or imported right directly into the system. You can edit in Excel all over the system in that. So it just really not only improves their functions of their job, but it also, I think, really makes everything easier, and in the end saves you money. Power Platform, That's, that's a suite of products, but that has to do with building applications. These are all the things that, proprietary things that your company does that, Microsoft is integrated with all these other tools for those proprietary things for us to, create an application, or, dashboards, workflows, different things like that. Teams, everybody uses Teams so much more now because of COVID, but, in our company, we couldn't live without Teams. But all of these tools working together, as a whole, seriously improve productivity, and I think also customer experience. Like I said, the more organized you are internally, the more your customers notice that. Also, Azure Intelligence, that's all the AI stuff. Now, Business Central can actually, AI can do a cash flow report and give you insights, that you never even thought of just by, scanning through all the data. And one thing I wanted to, just as far as the micro ecosystem, go ahead and jump slides. I got a nice diagram that kind of really brings this home. So you can see that kind of figure 8 there sideways in the middle, right there at the top left, Business Central. That's the business system that, that our system is. And then we have Silverleaf, which is some added functionality to that for growing. But what I want you to really notice is that inside that figure 8, is all the different Microsoft systems and areas that they handle: Business Central, talent, retail, marketing, field service, customer service, sales. All of that's, really inside the system. But look at the kind of gray boxes on the outside. That's Office 365, Teams, Power Apps. I just talked about, creating applications. We've actually, even if maybe you don't need Business Central, right? Maybe the QuickBooks is fine for you guys. Well, we've created Power Apps for a QuickBooks user to be able to redo their store orders inside the store. We push orders from the app inside QuickBooks and stuff. We have a practice devoted to this Power Apps and Power Automate, Power BI. So it's not like you have to buy an entire, ERP system to use these tools. But if you do, all of it's integrated. So that's to talk about scalability. I mean, there's endless scalability here because, like I said, when you're in the cloud, as far as increasing your throughput of your servers and processors and that, but also, when it comes down to, hey, we need an app to deal with our, trials, our trial gardens or something. We've done all sorts of little one-off apps that what really Microsoft's doing with this Power Platform is making it, it's much faster and easy. It's like called low to no code, meaning, it's much more rapid creation of the apps because it's not like someone's literally a programmer and typing code. It's more accessible to, Excel Power users, and that we have a whole practice devoted to it. But again, all of the integrations with all of these other tools and the things they can add on top of, the other Microsoft tools is really unmatched, I think, throughout every industry. We got Azure Intelligence, machine learning, the IoT hub, that's a Internet of Things, where you can have sensors in your soil and that are reporting back, digitally and stuff, all of that. That's really getting really big in outdoor, big agriculture. And then also on the bottom right, we have an app source. Everybody's used to apps, right?
Yes.
These systems have an app store like that. So, we can customize things for you, but there's just, hundreds of apps that are already created to add on to these. Just like you would go with your iPhone or something, go add an app, you can do that in Business Central.